Imagine waking up one morning feeling completely alone, as if no one truly understands you. The weight of the world feels heavy on your shoulders. You look around and wonder, is there anyone out there who really knows what I'm going through? Now, imagine if you realize that this feeling of loneliness is not your reality, but only a shadow, an illusion created by the mind. What if the very thing that seems to separate you from others is actually connecting you in ways you have never seen? This is where the journey begins. Have you ever asked yourself why, even in a crowded room, you can still feel isolated? Or why moments of sadness make you pull away instead of reaching out? And what if the answer lies not in changing the outside world, but in understanding what happens inside your own heart and mind? Here's a simple example. Think of a single drop of water in the vast ocean. Alone, it might feel small and separate, but it is part of something much bigger and more powerful. Just like that drop, no person truly stands alone. Welcome to Wisdom Writings. This channel is dedicated to sharing deep, practical insights inspired by ancient Buddhist teachings to help you find peace and connection in a world that often feels disconnected. If you find value in this message, please like the video, comment your thoughts below, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to our channel for more wisdom that can change your life. Also, do not forget to comment Namo Buddhai to keep your spirit positive and uplifted as you watch this video till the very end. Many people live with the belief that loneliness is a personal failure or a sign of weakness. Buddhism teaches us something quite different. It shows that loneliness is part of the human experience, but it does not define us. We are naturally connected to everything and everyone. Our pain, our joy, our struggles, they all arise because of these deep connections. This understanding can transform how you see yourself and others. When you realize you are not alone, you begin to see your life in a new light. Instead of feeling like an island, you start to understand that you are part of a vast, living web of life. Even when the mind tells you otherwise, this truth remains steady beneath the surface. Over time, you learn to trust it and to live with the confidence that you belong. Imagine a spider's web glistening with morning dew. Each thread is fragile, yet together they form something strong and whole. If one thread breaks, the web still holds because every thread supports another. So it is with life. No person exists in isolation. We are all connected, woven together in an invisible web that stretches beyond what the eye can see. Many people feel separate, as if their life is their own island surrounded by endless sea. But this is a misunderstanding. When we look deeper, we see that no one grows alone. A tree depends on the soil, the rain, the sun, and the air. It reaches out with roots and branches, not just for itself, but for the entire forest. Similarly, a person depends on countless others, not just family or friends, but strangers, the earth, the sky, even the smallest insect. This is the nature of interbeing. You might ask, but how can I feel connected when I'm suffering? When others seem far away and cold? It is true. Pain often makes the heart close. It convinces us that we are separate, that no one understands. Yet, the very pain you feel is also a thread linking you to all others. Every human heart has known fear, loneliness, and loss. When you recognize your own suffering in others, you begin to break the walls around your heart. To understand this, watch a candle flame. If one candle lights another, the flame does not disappear from a first. Instead, two flames shine brighter, giving more warmth and light. Your kindness, your presence, your openness, they light up others, and in turn, you are warmed by their light. This is the dance of connection, the natural flow of life. Buddha taught that everything exists because of causes and conditions. Nothing arises alone. When you see a flower, remember it grew because of many things: soil, water, sun, care. No flower can bloom without the help of the world. Likewise, your life blooms because of countless causes: people who care for you, moments of learning, acts of kindness given and received. This is the web of life, the truth of interbeing. When you feel isolated, Remember the unseen threads that tie you to the universe. Even in your darkest moments, these threads hold you steady. When you are kind to yourself and others, the web grows stronger. Your life is not a separate island, but a vibrant part of the whole. Sometimes, the mind will whisper that you are alone, that no one cares, that your pain is unique. This is a trick of the mind. It wants to protect you by building walls, but those walls only make you feel trapped. When you open your heart and mind, even a little, you will see others are walking paths similar to yours. Their fears, their joys, their struggles, they reflect your own. The practice of mindfulness helps us see this clearly. When you sit quietly and watch your breath, you begin to notice how everything is connected. You breathe in, the air comes from the trees, the soil, the earth. You breathe out, and your breath returns to the world. You are not separate from the world. You are part of it. This simple awareness is a doorway to ending loneliness. Compassion grows naturally from this understanding. When you know others are connected to you, their suffering is your suffering, and their joy is your joy. This does not mean losing yourself. Rather, it means finding a deeper part of yourself that is vast and open. Like the ocean holding many drops of water, your heart can hold many feelings and still remain calm. When you embrace this truth, your life changes. You begin to notice small moments of connection, a smile from a stranger, a kind word from a friend, the warmth of the sun on your skin. These moments remind you that you are part of something greater, something beautiful and alive. In time, you will see that even your thoughts and feelings are not separate from the world. They arise because of many things outside you: memories, experiences, teachings, nature. When you understand this, you stop fighting yourself and others. You accept life as it flows, connected and whole. This is the essence of the teaching. We do not stand alone. Every breath you take, every step you make, is part of a great web of life. When you feel lost, remember the spider's web, fragile, yet strong because of every thread. You are one thread, but you're never truly alone. In this way, loneliness becomes a teacher. It shows you where the walls are and gently invites you to open the doors. It asks you to see not only your own story, but the stories of many others who walk beside you. Even if you cannot see them, walk this path with gentle steps. When you feel disconnected, pause and breathe. Feel the ground beneath your feet, the air around you, and remember you are part of a vast, living whole. The web is always there, holding you, supporting you, connecting you to life's endless beauty. The root of suffering is a question many have asked throughout time. Why does the heart feel empty, even when surrounded by comfort? Why does pain return, even after we try to forget it? This is the truth that a wise person seeks to understand deeply, not just on the surface, but in the quiet place within. You see, suffering is not something outside of us. It does not come from the world around, but from the way we relate to the world inside. It is born from a gap, a space inside the mind that feels empty, restless, and searching. This emptiness is not a physical void. It is a kind of hunger that no food or pleasure can fill. In Buddhism, this hunger is often called dukkha, which means suffering, dissatisfaction, or unease. But dukkha is more than just pain. It is the feeling that nothing lasts, that happiness slips away, and that something important is missing, though we may not know what it is. It is this feeling that pulls us into confusion and sadness. Why does this hunger arise? It comes from wanting things to be other than they are. We want people to love us in a way that never changes. We want our problems to disappear quickly. We want ourselves to be free from fear and pain. But life is not under our control. Change is natural. Everything flows like the river, always moving, never stopping. When we try to hold on to what is changing, we create suffering. Imagine holding a handful of water. The harder you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. This is the way our mind behaves when it clings to hopes, fears, and desires. The more we grasp, the more we feel empty inside. Many people try to fill this emptiness with distractions, work, entertainment, achievements, or possessions. But no matter how much they gather, the inner void remains. The root of suffering cannot be filled by anything outside because it grows from inside the mind itself. A simple way to understand this is to look at a cloud in the sky. The cloud moves, changes shape, appears, and disappears. Our thoughts and feelings are like that cloud. They come and go. Sometimes they block the sun. Sometimes they clear away to let the light shine through. But the sky itself, the mind behind the thoughts, is always vast and open. To see this clearly is the beginning of freedom. When we recognize that our suffering comes from chasing after what cannot last, we can start to let go. This does not mean we become careless or stop caring about life. It means we stop fighting the natural flow and start to accept things as they are. This acceptance is not easy. It requires courage to face our pain without running away. It asks us to look deeply at the feelings we hide from. When you're lonely, instead of distracting yourself, you sit with that loneliness and breathe through it. When you feel sadness, you allow it to be without pushing it away. In that space, something remarkable happens. The mind begins to relax. The tightness of clinging loosens. The emptiness no longer feels like a hole, but like an open room, waiting to be filled not with things, but with peace itself. Buddha taught that suffering ends when we understand its cause and stop feeding it. This path is not about denying pain or pretending everything is perfect. It is about seeing clearly, with kindness and wisdom, what is happening inside. When you see the root of suffering, you can carefully remove the weeds and plant seeds of compassion and peace. Remember, the inner void is not a punishment. It is a sign that your heart is ready to grow. It calls you to look beyond old habits and fears. It invites you to awaken to a deeper truth, that you are more than your pain, more than your loneliness, and more than your fears. This awakening begins with small moments. A breath taken calmly, a thought noticed without judgment, a gentle smile to yourself in the mirror. These moments create a new path, one step at a time. As you practice, the emptiness inside changes. It transforms from a place of suffering to a space of openness. You learn to live with less fear of loss and more trust in the flow of life. The heart becomes a home for both joy and sadness, welcoming all as part of the whole experience of being alive. In this way, the root of suffering is not a trap, but a doorway. It leads us from loneliness to connection, from confusion to clarity, and from pain to peace. The Zen way is to walk through this door with patience and gentle awareness, knowing that every step brings you closer to the quiet, endless sky within. So, when you feel the weight of sadness or the pull of emptiness, remember this teaching. Do not run away or resist. Sit with your breath, feel the present moment, and see that this too is part of the journey. The root of suffering is real, but it is not the end. It is the beginning of a deeper understanding, a path toward freedom and true belonging. Imagine sitting quietly, alone in a peaceful garden. You watch a small bird fly from branch to branch. The bird moves freely, but is always part of the whole tree, the garden, the sky above. Now, think about your mind. How often do you let it roam freely, noticing each thought and feeling as they come, without chasing them away or holding on too tightly? This is the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is the gentle art of watching the mind, just like you watch the bird. It is not about stopping your thoughts, but about seeing them clearly. In life, it is easy to get caught up in our own world, our worries, hopes, and fears. We live inside a bubble made by our thoughts. This bubble tells us that we are separate from others, different and alone. But mindfulness teaches something different. It teaches us to step outside this bubble, to see not only our own mind, but also the connections we have with others. When we look deeply, we find that the walls between us and other people are not as strong as we think. They're made of thoughts and feelings, just like our own. When you practice mindfulness, you start to see yourself in others. This is not just an idea, but a real experience. For example, when you see someone smile, you feel a spark of joy inside yourself. When you see someone in pain, your heart aches. This is because deep inside, we all share the same feelings, the same fears and hopes, the same struggles and joys. This is what the Zen master means when he says, "No man is an island." We are like waves on the same ocean. Each wave is separate, yet each is part of the whole. Sometimes, when you practice mindfulness, you will notice a moment when you judge others or feel anger or sadness. This is normal, but the moment you see these feelings clearly, without pushing them away, you begin to change. You begin to understand that these feelings come from the same place inside you as they do inside others. When you see this, your heart softens. You begin to feel kindness and compassion for both yourself and those around you. This is the true power of mindfulness. It is not just about watching your own mind, but about opening your heart. When your heart opens, you no longer see others as strangers or enemies. You see them as reflections of yourself. This does not mean losing your own identity. It means understanding that the line between me and others is softer than we think. When you live with this understanding, loneliness begins to fade. You feel connected, supported, and whole. There's a story in Zen teaching about a monk walking through a forest. The monk heard the sound of a crying child. The monk stopped and listened carefully. The sound was not just noise. It was a message. The child's cry reminded the monk that all beings feel pain and joy, that every creature wants to be loved and understood. This story teaches us that mindfulness is like listening deeply, not only to our own mind but to the world around us. When you practice mindfulness regularly, you develop a deep patience with yourself. You learn to watch your thoughts and feelings without rushing to fix them. This patience allows you to stay with difficult emotions like sadness or fear without running away. And as you stay with them, they begin to change. They become softer and less frightening. This is the quiet power of mindfulness, being present, no matter what arises. Mindfulness also helps you see the impermanence of everything. You begin to understand that all feelings, even loneliness and pain, come and go like clouds in the sky. This understanding brings freedom. When you are free from fear of loneliness, you begin to live fully. You start to appreciate the small moments, the warmth of the sun, the sound of rain, the smile of a stranger. You live with a light heart, even in hard times. As your mindfulness grows, you also begin to notice the small ways you affect others. A kind word, a gentle smile, or a simple act of help can change someone's day. These small actions create ripples in the web of life. When you see this, your heart fills with gratitude. You realize that your life is connected to many others in countless ways. This connection is a source of strength, not weakness. In Zen, we say that the true self is not separate from others. The self is like a flame that lights another flame. When you light someone else's flame, your own flame shines brighter. This means that helping others, being kind, and understanding them is also a way to nourish your own heart. Mindfulness guides you to see this clearly. It is important to remember that mindfulness is a practice, not a goal. Some days it will feel easy to watch your mind and open your heart. Other days it will feel hard. Both are part of the path. The Zen master teaches that every moment is a chance to begin again. No matter how lost or alone you feel, you can always come back to this moment and breathe. Notice your breath. Feel the ground beneath you. This simple act brings you home to yourself. When you live with mindfulness, you begin to see the world as it truly is, alive, changing, and connected. You start to understand that your loneliness is a passing cloud in a vast sky. Beneath the clouds, the sky is always clear. Beneath your worries, your true nature is always peaceful. This peace is not far away. It is here now, waiting for you to see it. In the end, mindfulness is a way to heal the gap between yourself and others. It is a way to break the walls of isolation and open the door to connection. It is a way to see that you are never truly alone. The world is alive with life, and you are a vital part of this great web. Like the bird in the garden, you are free, but you are also deeply connected. So, take a moment now to breathe deeply and remember this. Your mind is like the sky, and your thoughts and feelings are like passing clouds. Watch them come and go without holding on. Know that beneath it all, your true self is peaceful, whole, and connected to everything. This is the gift of mindfulness. This is the path to seeing yourself in others. This is the way to a heart that knows it belongs. Imagine a man standing alone on a cold mountain. The wind blows harsh, the sky is gray, and he feels small and lost. But then, someone appears nearby. This person does not say much, but offers a warm cup of tea. The simple act changes everything. That cup is more than tea. It is kindness, a bridge built silently between two souls. This is compassion, the quiet force that pulls us out of isolation. In life, many believe that being alone means being separated. But true loneliness comes when the heart is closed. When we shut ourselves off from others, thinking our pain is ours alone, we build walls higher than mountains. Compassion is the key that unlocks these walls, softening the heart and inviting connection. In Buddhist teaching, compassion is not just feeling sorry for someone. It is a deep understanding that the suffering of others is not separate from our own. When one suffers, all suffer. When one feels joy, all can share in that joy. This is the essence of compassion, the sense that we are connected, always. A kind word, a gentle touch, a listening ear. These simple acts can heal wounds invisible to the eye. The Zen master sees compassion as a daily practice, not an occasional gesture. It begins with awareness, noticing when others suffer without turning away. Then, acting with an open heart. We often think that to be strong we must be alone, to carry burdens by ourselves. Yet, the truth is different. Strength grows when compassion flows freely, when we reach out and hold each other in kindness. The Buddha taught that no one can walk the path alone. We all need a community of care to move forward. Imagine a forest where every tree supports the others. Their roots entwine beneath the soil, sharing water and nutrients. Without this support, each tree would struggle to survive. So it is with human beings. Compassion is the root system of our shared life. When the heart is full of compassion, it dissolves the walls built by fear and anger. These walls block the light and warmth that come from connection. With compassion, even a stranger becomes a friend. The Zen master teaches that compassion creates a space where loneliness cannot live. Sometimes, showing compassion requires courage. It means opening yourself to pain, to the suffering of others, even when it is difficult. But this courage is also a form of freedom. It frees us from the prison of self-centeredness and isolation. It reminds us that we are part of a larger story. Compassion is also a mirror. When we show kindness to others, we reflect kindness back to ourselves. In this way, healing begins inside and spreads outward like ripples on a pond. The more we practice, the more natural compassion becomes. There are many ways to practice compassion. It might be as simple as smiling at someone who looks sad, or as profound as standing by a friend in their darkest hour. No act is too small. Even the smallest seed of kindness can grow into a mighty tree of support. The Zen master encourages us to be patient with ourselves and others. Compassion does not mean fixing everything immediately. Sometimes, the most compassionate act is simply to be present, to listen without judgment, to hold space without trying to change. When you practice compassion, you start to see the world differently. You notice the quiet struggles around you, the hidden sorrows and joys. This awareness opens your heart, making loneliness less sharp and connection more real. In Buddhist philosophy, compassion is linked with wisdom. True compassion understands the nature of suffering and the impermanence of all things. It does not cling or grasp, but flows freely like water. This wisdom helps compassion remain strong and clear, even when challenges arise. When we cultivate compassion, we begin to heal not only ourselves, but also the world around us. The ripples spread beyond our own lives, touching family, friends, and even strangers. It becomes a force for peace, and understanding. Remember, compassion is not a feeling that comes and goes with circumstances. It is a way of being, a practice rooted deeply in the heart. The Zen master reminds you, every moment offers a chance to open your heart a little more. So when loneliness visits again, as it will, remember the power of compassion. Let it be the bridge that carries you across the silent distances between people. Let it be the light that warms your heart and the hearts of others. The journey is not about erasing loneliness, but transforming it through connection. Compassion is the path, the journey itself, and the destination. It is the quiet revolution in the human heart that reminds us, you are never truly alone. Imagine the strength of a single bamboo stalk, tall and flexible, bending with the wind but never breaking. Now, imagine a whole grove of bamboo, roots and stalks intertwined beneath the surface, supporting one another silently and powerfully. This is the power of community, what Buddhists call Sangha. The Sangha is not just a group of people. It is a living, breathing source of strength, support, and understanding. When you feel alone or weak, the Sangha reminds you that you do not have to carry your burdens by yourself. In life, many walk as if they are islands, separated by invisible walls. This separation creates fear, loneliness, and suffering. But the Sangha teaches us that the walls are illusions. When you become part of a community of like-minded hearts, you find a deep comfort that cannot be found in isolation. It is like the sun warming your skin after a cold winter. The warmth comes from others, but it reaches your soul. Being part of the Sangha means more than just showing up physically. It means opening your heart, sharing your struggles, and offering kindness to others. It is in this exchange that healing begins. When you listen to another's pain without judgment, you discover your own pain becomes lighter. When you offer your compassion, you find it grows within you. This is the true power of Sangha. It creates a circle of giving and receiving that nurtures everyone inside it. Often, people hesitate to join a group or community because they fear rejection or judgment. They worry that their weaknesses or flaws will be exposed. But the Sangha is not about perfection. It is about acceptance. It is a space where no one pretends to be perfect because everyone understands that being human means struggling. In this sacred space, you can be your true self without fear. A Zen master once said, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to walk far, walk together. Life is not a race to be won quickly. It is a long path, full of challenges, lessons, and growth. Walking together in the Sangha allows us to travel that path with steadiness and courage. When you stumble, someone is there to steady you. When you shine, others celebrate your light. The Sangha also helps us to develop patience. When we are alone, impatience with ourselves and others can grow easily. But within a community, we learn to wait, to listen, and to understand. We see that everyone has their own pace and their own struggles. This teaches us to be gentle with others and with ourselves. In the Sangha, each person's story matters. When you share your story, you give others the chance to understand you deeply. You remind them that they're not alone either. Stories are powerful. They connect hearts and break down walls. By listening deeply to another's story, you practice true empathy. This practice is a path to compassion, a core teaching of Buddhism. Moreover, the Sangha is a place where wisdom is passed down. The teachings of the Buddha, the experiences of elders, and the insights of fellow travelers come together. This shared wisdom lights the way in times of darkness. It helps us to see clearly when the mind is confused by fear or sadness. In this light, the path forward becomes visible. The Sangha is also a reminder that we are responsible to each other. Our actions ripple outwards. When you act with kindness and integrity within the community, you create a positive ripple that touches many lives. This responsibility is not a burden, but a gift, a way to create meaning and connection. Sometimes, the Sangha feels like a mirror. When you look into the eyes of your companions, you see your own reflection. You see your strengths and weaknesses, your joys and sorrows. This reflection helps you to understand yourself more clearly. It is not always easy to face what the mirror shows, but it is necessary for growth. Even when the world outside feels chaotic or cold, the Sangha can be a sanctuary. It is a place where you can rest, recharge, and renew your spirit. Like a calm lake reflecting the sky, the Sangha offers clarity and peace. This peace is not just the absence of noise. It is the presence of connection and understanding. The Sangha also helps to dissolve the ego, the false sense of being separate and alone. When you live in community, you begin to see that your happiness depends on the happiness of others. Your suffering is shared, and so is your joy. This realization opens your heart and softens the barriers between self and other. The Buddha said that we are like travelers on a long journey. The Sangha is the group of fellow travelers who walk alongside us. Some may walk ahead, some behind, but all are moving in the same direction. Knowing you are not alone on this journey brings comfort and courage. When you are part of the Sangha, you learn the art of giving without expectation. You offer your time, your listening ear, your kindness, simply because it is the right thing to do. This selfless giving creates a circle of generosity that returns to you in unexpected ways. Even in moments of silence within the Sangha, there is connection. Sometimes words are not needed. Just sitting together in quiet presence is enough. This shared silence speaks volumes. It is a reminder that presence itself is a powerful form of love and support. The Sangha is also a place where you can learn forgiveness. When conflicts arise, as they naturally do in any group, the practice of forgiveness helps to heal wounds. Forgiveness frees you from carrying the weight of anger or resentment. It opens the door to peace. Within the Sangha, you find teachers in every phase. Everyone has something to teach you, whether it is patience, courage, humility, or joy. The community is a living classroom where every moment offers a lesson in how to live wisely and kindly. Joining a Sangha does not mean you lose your individuality. Instead, it means your individuality shines more brightly because it is supported by others. Just as a single flame becomes stronger when lit alongside others, your spirit grows within the community. The Sangha is a place of transformation. It is where isolation turns into connection, fear turns into courage, and loneliness turns into belonging. This transformation is not always fast or easy, but it is always possible. Remember, you're never truly alone. Even when it feels like it, there is a community waiting to welcome you. The Sangha is not just a group of people. It is the heart of the Buddhist teaching. It is the place where compassion and wisdom grow together. So, when a world feels heavy and your heart feels empty, seek the Sangha. Find those who walk the path with you. Together, you will find the strength to face any challenge, the wisdom to understand your suffering, and the love to heal your soul. In the Sangha, your journey continues, not alone, but hand in hand with others who share the same path. This is the true gift of community, the gift that turns loneliness into belonging and struggle into peace. Imagine a moment when you feel utterly alone, not just physically, but deeply inside your heart. The silence around you seems vast, and your mind whispers that no one truly sees you, hears you, or understands you. This feeling is familiar to many. It is like standing in an empty field under a dark sky, feeling the cold wind wrap around you. But what if this emptiness is not emptiness at all? What if this vast silence holds a secret, a door waiting to be opened? Loneliness often comes because we believe that connection depends on others changing or on the world bending to our wishes. We wait for someone to come and fill that empty space inside. Yet in this waiting, time slips away and the space grows wider. The wisdom of the Buddha teaches us a different way. It asks us to look deeply within, not to find a lonely, empty self, but to discover that the sense of I is not separate from everything else. There is no island, no single drop standing apart. The teaching says that all things arise together. You and the trees, you and the rivers, you and every breath you take. They're all connected by the same invisible thread. When loneliness visits, it is like a veil covering the eyes. It hides this truth, but through practice and patience, the veil lifts. The first step is to gently welcome loneliness, without fear or resistance. Often, we push loneliness away because it feels painful. We distract ourselves with noise, busyness, or avoidance. But what if, instead of pushing it away, you simply allowed yourself to feel it fully? Sit quietly with that feeling. Breathe slowly and deeply. Notice the sensation of loneliness, not as an enemy, but as a visitor. Say silently, "I see you. You are here." In this simple act of recognition, something changes. You're no longer fighting loneliness. You're embracing it. This is the beginning of transforming emptiness into embrace. As loneliness is accepted, it begins to soften. You might begin to notice that within this feeling, there's a longing for connection, not just with others, but with yourself. Often, the deepest loneliness is a loneliness from oneself. We spend so much time trying to avoid ourselves that we forget how to be present with our own heart. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that the heart is not a closed room. It is a vast sky, open, clear, and spacious. When you turn toward yourself with kindness, you open a door to this inner sky. In this openness, loneliness loses its sharp edges. It becomes a quiet companion rather than a cruel judge. When you cultivate this openness, the feeling of separation begins to fade. You start to understand that you are part of the great flow of life. This flow moves like a river, connecting every living thing. Your struggles, your joys, your pain, they're all waves rising and falling in this river. One teaching says, just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. Loneliness is a sign, a message calling you to find that inner fire. When you respond to this call, you begin to move from emptiness to embrace. Embrace means to hold yourself and others with gentle acceptance. It means knowing that no matter how difficult life feels, you are not alone in your experience. The earth beneath your feet supports you. The air you breathe connects you. The kindness in your own heart opens a door to others. Practice can help you reach this place. Meditation is one way to gently train your mind to stay present with whatever arises. When loneliness comes, sit quietly and watch it without judgment. Breathe deeply. Let the feeling be as it is. With time, you will notice a peaceful space inside, a place untouched by loneliness. Another way is to practice loving kindness. Imagine sending warmth and care to yourself first, then to those around you, even to people you do not know. This simple act dissolves barriers. It helps your heart open wider than before. Remember, transformation does not mean erasing loneliness or pretending it never existed. It means inviting it in, learning from it, and allowing it to teach you about your true nature, a nature that is always connected, always whole. In this understanding, loneliness becomes a teacher, guiding you to deeper wisdom and compassion. You begin to live not in fear of being alone, but with the quiet confidence of knowing you are part of something greater. The path from emptiness to embrace is not always easy. There will be moments when loneliness returns stronger and colder. But now you have a new relationship with it. You greet it as an old friend, knowing it will pass like the clouds in the sky. In this way, your heart becomes a refuge, not just for yourself, but for others. Your own journey out of loneliness can inspire those who feel lost. You become a beacon of light, showing that even in the darkest moments, connection and love remain possible. So, sit with your loneliness. Welcome it with a soft heart. Breathe in the truth that you are not alone. You are part of the great web of life, woven together by invisible threads of compassion and presence. This is the teaching of the Buddha, an invitation to awaken from the illusion of separation, to find peace in the midst of pain, to turn emptiness into a warm embrace. And in that embrace, your life can be transformed. Imagine, for a moment, a quiet morning. The sun gently rises, spreading soft light across the land. In this light, nothing is hidden. Everything is seen clearly. You stand not alone, but surrounded by the gentle presence of all things: trees, birds, wind, the earth beneath your feet, and the sky above. This is not just nature, but a reflection of life's true nature. You see it because you have awakened to a simple truth: no one is truly alone. Throughout your life, you may have felt isolated. Sometimes that feeling weighed heavily upon you, like a stone in your chest. You might have thought, "I'm the only one who suffers," or "no one understands me." These thoughts arise in the mind and can make the heart feel empty. But just as the morning sun melts the cold night, so too can awakening melt this loneliness. Awakening is not a sudden, dramatic event, but a quiet understanding that grows with time. It is the gentle knowing that the barriers we build between ourselves and others are only clouds passing in the vast sky of our being. Beneath those clouds is the clear, endless sky of connection. You are part of this sky. Others are part of this sky. And this sky holds all our stories, pain, and joy as one. To walk the path of awakening together means to remember that your journey is not yours alone. It is shared with everyone around you. Each step you take is supported by countless unseen hands. The kindness of strangers, the love of family, the wisdom of teachers, and the patience of friends. Even when you feel alone, this support is always present, like the air you breathe, often unnoticed but essential. In Buddhism, we call this the Sangha, the community of those who seek awakening. Sangha is more than just a group of people. It is the living connection of hearts and minds that helps each person grow. You do not have to walk this path alone. When you open your heart to the Sangha, you open yourself to healing, growth, and peace. This shared journey teaches us compassion, the deep kindness we offer to ourselves and others. When you see others suffering, you understand your own pain more clearly. When others find peace, you feel that peace as well. This is not just sympathy, but a true joining of hearts. Compassion is the bridge that connects one soul to another, reminding us that we all breathe the same air and walk beneath the same sky. Let go of the idea that you must fix your loneliness by changing the outside world. Instead, look inward. See the loneliness for what it is: a call for connection, a message from your own heart that longs to be seen and heard. When you answer this call with kindness toward yourself, you begin to heal. This healing opens the door to deeper connection with others. The Zen master teaches that every moment is a chance to awaken to the presence of others, to the beauty of connection, and to the profound truth that you are not alone. In the silence between thoughts, in the breath you take now, feel the life that flows through you and through all beings. This life is a web of connection, stronger than any feeling of isolation. Remember, the feeling of being alone is natural at times. It is part of being human, but is not your final truth. Your final truth is belonging. You belong to this world. You belong to this community. You belong to the endless circle of life that has no beginning and no end. When you embrace this truth, your heart softens. Walls fall away. You find the courage to reach out, to share your story, and to listen deeply to the stories of others. In this sharing, healing happens. In this healing, peace grows. And in this peace, you find yourself awake, alive, and connected. So now, as you listen, take a deep breath. Feel the air entering your body and feel it leaving. This breath connects you to the earth and to all living beings. With each breath, remind yourself, I am not alone. We walk this path together. This simple truth carries the power to transform your life. As you walk forward, know that the journey is not about perfection. It is about presence, being here, now, with open eyes and an open heart. When fear arises, remember you're surrounded by unseen support. When doubt visits, remember you're part of something greater than yourself. Cherish this moment. Let root deep within you. The awakening you seek is not far away. It is already here within your breath, within your heart, waiting patiently for you to see it. Before this journey ends, please remember to like this video, share it with those who need to hear this message, and subscribe to Wisdom Writings. Your support helps spread this light to many others who feel alone. And please, drop your thoughts in the comments. Write Namo Buddhai to keep your mind positive and your spirit strong as you continue to walk this shared path of awakening. Know this, you're never alone. Not now, not ever. And the moment you truly understand this, a great peace will fill your heart and your life will change forever.